Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Commerce Lab by Ecomcy, the place of everything related to Amazon FBA and e-commerce in general. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy. Today, we'll bring you a very interesting topic, which is basically around product research and how we can use keywords to help you find a winning product when it comes to launching it on Amazon. We all know that when it comes to product research, most of the strategies that you learn out there are always focused on the typical revenue filters, reviews, the size that needs to be FBA, and so on. But I think a lot of people nowadays don't focus on actually transition the way they do product research and focus on keywords rather than finding the product first. The reason why I believe doing keyword research when it comes to implementing it into your product research is key is because we all need to understand that Amazon is pretty much a search engine when it comes to basically people looking to express what they're looking to purchase and then describing it on a few keywords and then finding the product, right? So that means that basically if a keyword doesn't have enough search volume or doesn't have any kind of interest at all, you could have the best product in the market, but it's just not gonna sell, right? When it comes to Amazon, you need to make sure that product has keyword intent, and for sure there is opportunity for you to actually fulfill that need because the key of doing this method, which I'm gonna be explaining next, is I'm gonna show you how you can find keywords that there is for sure intent when it comes to people using this keyword to find a specific product, but there isn't just enough competition when it comes to other sellers trying to fulfill the needs of these buyers, right? So I'm gonna jump straight away into the screen that you can see in front of me, and I'm gonna show you what are some of the filters you should be using and how you can basically use keyword research to then combine it with product research and find a good product to launch on Amazon. When it comes to the keyword research method, the first thing that you need to do for sure is go to the black box tool in Helium10. For everybody that has not used Helium10 before, you can find a discount down in the description. You can get 50% on your first month, and for sure you're not going to regret it. The amount of tools you get on a single place is amazing, so definitely give it a try. Now, once you are in black box, you're gonna see in front of you, once you are inside your dashboard, that you have 5 tabs, right? Inside black box, you have product research, you have keyword, competitor, niche, and product targeting. The one that most people use is product research, which is what most of the tools out there also use, which basically you filter products that are currently selling based on revenue, based on reviews, based on monthly sales, based on number of sellers, variations, and so on, the typical filters, right? Here in keyword research, instead of focusing on the typical filter I just mentioned, we actually focus on the keyword itself and criteria that this keyword needs to fulfill in order to basically Helium10 provide a list in terms of containing these keywords. And these are some of the keywords that should be having the highest chance when it comes to finding a winning product for you to sell on Amazon. So the first filter I like to start with for sure is the search volume. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, search volume is basically one of the first metrics that you can use to basically understand how relevant and how often a keyword is being searched on Amazon, right? So because of that, I usually like to start with a search volume, I would say between 3,000 and 4,000. In this case, let's say we're going to start with 3,500. So we give it in the middle, right? 3,500 search volume, and usually I put a maximum in this case of 10,000. So the reason why I'm putting a maximum is because I also at the same time don't want to find keywords that have 20, 30, 40,000 search volume, because most likely these are super competitive keywords anyway, right? So we don't want to find these keywords when it comes to product research. So once you have that, the other thing that you can focus on is the word count. So the word count is very important because if you don't put a minimum and maximum, what is going to end up happening is that you may end up finding keywords that might be too short or even too long to actually make any sense in terms of finding a product. So I usually like to put a minimum of 6. And then when it comes to maximum, we can keep it empty for now, but then we might use that filter later if we find that the results are very broad. So The other metrics, such as the monthly revenue, price, review count, and review rating, we also leave it empty. These are filters I use more for refining rather than the initial phase of my research. What do I mean by refining? Let's say once I click the search button, then I'm gonna click next. I end up having hundreds and hundreds of keywords, which in this case, Helium10 is just gonna display 200 for me. Then for sure I want to use extra filters to narrow down my search. But at this stage, I'm not going to do it yet. The other filter that I use, which is actually new, and a lot of people I have seen, at least when working with clients and people that reach out to me, is title density. So why title density is super important? Title density, I'm just going to put my mouse over it so you can see the description. It basically is going to allow you to find the number of page one products with the search keyword in their title. So you might ask yourself why this filter is important. So imagine yourself that you manage to find keywords that have a high search volume, as we're gonna do next, but at the same time, maybe just let's say 5 or 6 people have it on page one, compared to up to 30, 40 people that can be in page one on a single page. So that means just 5 people are using that keyword. It means it's a keyword with untouched potential, which means there is possibility for you to rank higher and faster on that keyword, right? So we're gonna start with a filter of 5, which basically means up to 5 products are gonna have this keyword on their title in page one, a minimum of one. And then we're gonna jump into the next filter. So what is the next filters I like to use? I like to use competitor revenue. So competitor revenue, I like to always also say to Amazon, please find me keywords where at least 5 people are making 5,000 per month, right? So I'm trying to find basically niche where at least a small percentage of the seller are making a decent revenue, right? Once we find the revenue, the next thing that you want to jump into are reviews, right? So when it comes to reviews, you also want to make sure you filter based on the quantity of review. The reason is because, of course, we don't want to find keywords where the majority of sellers have hundreds and hundreds of reviews, which means it's going to be super difficult for you to be able to enter and compete on that niche. So basically what I'm saying with this filter is please find me products, sorry, in this case, keywords, where I can find at least 5, in this case, competitor minimum, that have less than 150 reviews. And basically, that is telling me that there are competitors in this niche that have less than 150 reviews, which is very low number, that still are making a decent amount of sales, right? So these are some of the main filters I play with at the beginning, but as I'm gonna show you next, once we hit the search volume, I'm gonna show you how to use the rest of them to refine your search. The last thing, please don't forget, is select a category. In this case, let's start, for example, with the home and kitchen category. Let's click next, a search in this case, and let's see how many keywords we end up. So we have 200 plus keywords. That's a lot of keywords. So what do we do next? We start filtering that down. So the first filter I increase is the competitor. Instead of 5, I want 8 to make it even more refined. And the reviews, I also increase it to 8. And finally, the title, we can also increase it to 8 right now to see what happens. We can see how we're gonna go in this case from 200 plus keywords to just 9 keywords, guys. So huge jump when it comes to filtering down keywords. So now, usually what I do at this stage is I want to search for the keywords that they basically are meeting my criteria when it comes to the filters we're using, and see if there is any potential. So as you can see here, everything is breaking down. It breaks down the sales period, the amount of reviews. Some of you might also be asking, what is this broad reach potential? And it's actually a filter, and basically it's a potential of keyword to generate new keywords in the broad match. So this one might be also a great filter to use to even refine even further, because for example, if you find a keyword, right, it might happen sometimes that the keyword itself doesn't have a lot of variations, and that sometimes not good, right? Because it means that as more competition jumps into that specific niche and that specific keyword, you're not going to have a lot of room when it comes to targeting different keywords and basically broaden your search. So at the same time, it's also great to look for keywords that have a high potential when it comes to broad reach, which means there are other keywords with from an extension of your seed keyword that could also have potential for you to bring you sales and you can advertise on them, right? So coming back to here, you can see that the broad research potential is also high in some of them. So as long as it's above 4 or 5, that's great. So what I'm gonna do in this scenario is I'm gonna select one of the keywords and go from there. So for example, this one is very interesting, room divider wall. First time I actually hear this kind of keyword. Now that I see the image, it makes sense. But again, this niche for sure, I can understand why it has huge potential, because most likely it's an oversized product and a lot of people is gonna stay out of it. But again, here we can discover how you can basically find niches that people is not touching because most likely the complexity that has to deal with the pros. But at the same time, guys, it means an opportunity for you, because if you spend the time to basically get in connection with a third party logistics, let's say in the States, that can help you move these heavy items, and you can just put the expenses of moving these expensive items and shipping them from overseas on the price. As you can see, some of the prices here are expensive. That is going to allow you to compete on um, categories like this, and you can see how the amount of views is super low. And at the same time, we're gonna open now Helium10, and we're gonna quickly see how is the revenue looking when it comes to this specific niche. So while it loads, I'm gonna start actually opening other keywords. So let's see, right hand dining share. So let's see, I'm gonna click here, be on Amazon. So as you can see, a lot of the results that are appearing for sure are oversized products. And this always proves my point that I tell to people that ask me if oversized product is a great opportunity. Is definitely a great opportunity, because just the fact that you remove so much competition from you, that is gonna make PPC and other things so much cheaper and easier for you to handle. That is worth the hustle at the beginning to basically live with all the logistics that are involved, right? So let's see which keywords we find in here. Extractor vacuum. Let's see if we find. Let's actually change category, because in home and kitchen we might appear a lot of oversized. Let's have a look at, for example, baby, right? Baby is a very hot category. And let's actually decrease this because we are not getting enough keywords. And we can see, for example, baby doll body wash, foldable stroller. Let's see. Let's have a look at, for example, window guards for children. Interesting. First time I hear that. So the point of doing keyword research, guys, is that you're looking for that phrase, just as I did right now, that you have never heard of. So I didn't even know that it existed something such as window guards for children. And you can see right now there is definitely some people selling those. Yes. So you can see it's basically a protection you put on the window for kids. So that's the beauty of keyword research, right? And you're trying to focus on finding a product, you try to focus on keywords that are showing potential, and then you use that to basically allow you to validate if the idea is there or not, right? So let's see if this one ended loading. Okay, in this scenario, sometimes when you open multiple products, just also for you to consider, it might take longer to load your results. So that's fine. In the meantime, what we're gonna keep doing is looking for more keywords. So for example, baby nursery decor. That's also interesting. Let's have a look. Great. So yes. So this one is these kind of products are also very nice when it comes to designs and dealing with different types of presentation, because you need to remember that the beauty of playing with products that are involved design, it give you the freedom to basically have a lot of creativity. And also design is very subjective, right? So that means you can enter the market with a unique design without any reviews, and just the fact that you have a unique design is going to help you massively when it comes to basically compete with people that are already very established on the actual market. Great. So yes, so I think this is the main thing when it comes to understanding keywords. Of course, once you find the keywords, guys, what you need to do is you need to go to Amazon. And once you go to Amazon, you need to do the typical steps which I explain on my other videos, which is basically opening Helium10. And once you open Helium10, what it's going to allow you to do is going to allow you to basically analyze everything that has to do with how many people, how many reviews in terms are in average on page one, what is the average revenue, and then for sure, if you wanna go even more in depth, what I usually do, which I also have teaching on some of the videos, which you can check on our channel, is that you need to also identify which are the main keywords people are basically bringing the most sales for them, right? So how do you do that? Usually you want to use Helium10, and then once you open Helium10, that is going to allow you to select the top 10 competitors. And once you select the top 10 competitors, you then want to bring that to Cerebro, right? Once you bring that to Cerebro, what you want to do in Cerebro is then you also want to filter all the keywords based on relevancy, right? So let's see if we can very quickly do this with the window for baby. So it seems now Helium10 is loading. And then basically once you bring that to Helium10 and you analyze all the keywords in Cerebro, what you're going to be able to do is then filter down what are the top. Usually you want to bring the main keywords of a product to the top, I would say 30 to 50 keywords. And once you have the top 30 to 50 keywords, that is going to allow you to understand even in more depth if that's actually a product that has opportunity or not, right? Because based on the keyword, you can understand if there is a saturated market or not. So, for example, we have now the window guard for children, which is one of the keywords we found in the first place. So we can see that one of the first things that I like for sure is that the search volume is very healthy. The average revenue is also high. Average price is also on the range that I would like to get started with. I always advise start at least with a price point of $30 or higher. And the only thing that's kind of concerning me is the average reviews. But average reviews and all these metrics actually that you see in the screen are not super relevant up to the point that you actually clean your search, right? Because, for example, here in front of me, we need to understand that on this scenario, we actually focusing on children, right? We are focusing on children window safety equipment, right? So how do I go about filtering this? So actually, I'm gonna do something even easier. You're gonna click on filtering, right? And you wanna find title that have children on it, right? Once we do that, see how the picture is completely different. And this actually a huge finding. I mean, we can see how the average review is 100 under 150, which is amazing. Average price $36. Again, that is also needs to be fully cleaned out because it's not fully reflective of the market. For example, here is a guy selling for 116, but then we see people, for example, selling for $6, $12. So if you actually want to go more in depth and really understand what kind of product you want to sell, you want to filter this even further. So, for example, if you're looking to actually sell just the guards, as you can see in the picture, rather than these small logs, then of course it's a different market. But again, you can use this filter to go even more in depth. Once you then find the keyword from black box, you can come into here, and then the filters that you usually use on the traditional product research method, you can use them in here instead, because now once you have validated the keyword in here, you then want to find if the actual products and competitors that are selling it are actually matching the criteria that you're looking for when it comes to basically defining if a product is a winning product or not. And to summarize, you want to do what I was just explaining, just at the high level. Again, I'm not going to go in depth on that here because then it's going to make the video very long, which is basically using Cerebro. At this stage, what you want to do is select your top, let's say 8 competitors that are exactly what you want to sell for. So let's say you want to sell this window basically guards, and these are your product. So you want to skip this, for example. This one is actually one that you want to sell. You want to skip this, so you want to keep it as consistent as possible and close to what you want to sell. In this case, you have 4 products. You in this case are gonna run keyword research. I mean, I can actually quickly do it for you so you can see the filters I was referring to find the relevant keywords. And once Cerebro loads all the keywords related to your main competitor, that's where you actually gonna understand how good is the competition around your niche, right? So in this case, we have just 3 products. In essence, you want to have at least 10, which is actually the maximum. And the filter I was referring to is the advanced search rank filter, right? So in this scenario, we can say, please show me at least one out of the 3 please show me keywords that for example, that is ranking on one out of the 3 products that they are ranking on position 1 and 30. So position 1 and 30 basically means page 1, because on page 1 usually you have 30 slots. And basically what I'm trying to do here is find keywords that is at least consistent on one out of the 3 products that is basically a keyword they are positioned on page 1. And you see how we went from dozens of keywords just to 90 keywords. And then you can basically use this keyword to even do further research when it comes to using the same method of keyword research. Go inside these keywords, find there is specific potential when it comes to design, gaps in the market. And if you want to go even further, you can download this report, right? Once you download this report, guys, the beauty of this report is that it's gonna give you the relative position of all the competitors on the specific keywords, and then you can create, for example, even further reports to understanding how many keywords are not being controlled by specific competitors, which keywords have low competition, and you can start with those keywords when it comes to launch. Again, that gets much more complicated. I just wanted to keep a high level for this video, but I'm gonna make sure I go in a very technical video in the future when it comes to understanding your keywords and how you can use that to define what are the main keywords you can use to validate the market and also use them for your launch phase. Okay, so yes, I think we cover a lot of things on this video today. I think we cover how to use black box and the keyword research tool, how you can then find keywords based on the filters we just mentioned and go to Amazon. Then on Amazon, you are going to use the Helium10 extension to use basically extract all the data from that page. Then once you are on that page, as we can see here, you're going to use the filter results to filter even further, maybe based on price. If, for example, you know that the product you want to bring to market is a specific price point, you can use that on the retail price. If you want specific revenue, things like that, you can filter here further. And for example, if your product is a specific variation, like in this case children, you want to include this and filter just the product that meet that criteria. From that, you go to Cerebro and do the magic I just explained. Okay, so if you have any questions, I know sometimes this can get a little bit complicated and difficult to process, and definitely it's a process that takes time and time to master. It's not something that you're gonna learn on a single day, guys. So please be patient when it comes to doing your product research. Don't rush it. It's something that's super key, and for sure it's gonna define the success you can have when launching the product on Amazon. So spend your time. If you have questions, you have people like me that you can reach out without any commitment. We're gonna explain you everything that you need to know to use, for example, tools such as Helium10 to do pro research. In my case, I'm Helium10 certified. So any tool that you have, any question that you have regarding the tool, gonna be able to answer that for you as well. Okay. Finally, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're gonna offer a 50% discount to all the people using Helium10, and you can find that link in the description. And yes, that's it, guys. So if you like the content, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It helped me a lot, my agency, to keep reaching people like you. And take care. Have an amazing week, and definitely see you on the next one. Bye bye.